Welcome to the From the 108 podcast, starring the drunk uncles of White Sox Twitter. He's a Twitter-like whore, an Instagram thirst trap, and your grandma's guilty pleasure, Beef Loaf. A West Coast attitude in a decidedly Midwest body, My Sock Summer. And your host, he's sharing obscure music thoughts to give you time to hit the bathroom, Cherise E.
Thank you, Cornsey, and welcome to the From the 108 podcast. Get ready for some baseball, beer, and bullshit. And remember the drinking rules. If Beef Loaf references a meme or says he talked about it on the au jus, you drink. If My Sock Summer mentions his time on the West Coast or blames his kid for something that he can't do, you drink. And if I swear or say, here's the thing,
get out a
you
fucking
drink.
sentence.
Also, you can make any of us
bond.
shut the fuck up for 5 minutes for just $5. And you can make all of us drink for a tip of $1.08 or more.
Or more, please.
Speaking of drinking, fellas, what are you drinking? And I'm going to start with you, Beef Loaf. Beef Loaf, what are you drinking tonight?
Oh, for fuck's sake. I'm changing things up, and it's because I'm trying not to be wasteful. We had some guests in town this past weekend, so the night before the second version of Josh Nelson's wedding, we had some old friends stay at our house, and Mrs. Beef bought a bunch of stuff for them to eat and drink while they were here. One of the things that she bought for them, which I would never drink ever in my entire life, is something that resembles orange juice, but isn't actually orange juice. It's like an orange drink. It says Trop 50 or something like that. So tonight...
Sunny Delight.
It's kind of like it, but It's not Sunny Delight. So tonight we're drinking screwdrivers out of this jar right here. So we're mixing it up a little bit. A little vitamin C. I hope I don't have to drop sticks again during the show, but I'm looking forward to it.
Again.
My Sock Summer, are you drinking Sunny D and vodka too?
I am not. I actually graduated high school, so I don't do that anymore. Actually did Sunny D and scotch, I think, because the scotch, and that was just horrendous. That's just trying to get drunk. I am drinking, my first taste was the single barrel from Whiskey Acres out there in DeKalb. Go see my girl Trish out there. She's awesome. That's 120 proof, so that was my taste. I did that in honor of my father's birthday today. He's 26. He's 76 years old.
Hell yeah.
So,
attaboy.
Congratulations. And that picture in there, I don't know if I'll probably bring it up, or you brought it up there. It's a lot quicker than me.
There they are.
That's actually on the Loaf deck. That was the first time I ever met Cherise and Loaf. And they let my dad come there, and it was actually the first time my dad ever had a rum and Coke in his life. So,
Allegedly.
Which was hilarious.
That was his 20th birthday. That was 6 years ago.
Yeah.
What did you send him as a gift, MSS? Was it like an old Jugs magazine with Christy Canyon as a centerfold, something like that?
He's big into that. No, he's a Playboy guy.
Okay. Wow. All right. Just for the articles, of course.
Just the articles and pubic hair. We are 3 generations strong in the Playboys. Until I started watching The Secrets of the Playboy Mansion, and I don't really like Playboy anymore. Hugh Hefner was pretty disgusting. But anyway,
imagine that.
I had that Whiskey Acres. Now I'm having. Of course.
Frozen internet.
Big bottle of Buffalo Trace. That's what I'm doing tonight. Chorizo, what are you going to continue your drinking madness with tonight?
So I've been drinking all day, as you can probably tell by the
Mercy.
intro. But the why not just keep it going? So I got the E.H. Taylor going.
Oh, yeah.
Have a little bit of that. A little taste. Wow. We'll see how this goes. Luckily, My Sock Summer's doing most of the driving.
I'm not driving tonight. Yeah.
So I'm good. But we usually get into the banter right away. I ask you guys, but I do want to get into banter, My Sock Summer, about your father.
Okay.
Because one story that it just always sticks out in my head. We got a guy who comes to the section, and he's a great guy. He's an older guy, closer to your dad's age. And one time he handed him a matchbook, and there was like half a joint in the matchbook.
Yes.
And your dad lit up like a Christmas tree. And he was just like so happy to get this from him. It was, it could have been him just being nice. I don't know that he uses that kind of stuff.
Never.
But
Had a
the
Volkswagen
look on
bus.
your face was like, I got him a really nice Christmas present, and he did not react as well as he did to this.
It's like when you buy your pets toys, and then the cat just wants to play in the box. Like that's what happened right there.
Stupid cats. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm sure that definitely
No
happened.
government names, but
I think I pretty much have realized that my father only gets like one kind of gift, and it's alcohol or edibles. So that's what I've been getting him, because if I get him flour, he won't smoke it. So I have to get him something he'll take. And then he took one time, and he goes, well, I just got high. I was confused. And I was like, isn't that what you want to do? Wasn't that the point? It's like, well, I just kind of want some sleep aid to go to sleep. I was like, take 20 megs, not 10, and then you'll just pass the fuck out. I got to hook him up with my guy. So we'll see, like I don't know if he understands what he's trying to do. What are you trying to achieve, Dad? When you watch this tomorrow, send me a text.
Take the proper dose.
Yeah, I mean,
and when you're listening, just know I didn't see that. I'm just making up a story.
That's right.
And we got a quick drink here from Drew. He says, "What's
hey,
up, boys?
thanks, Drew.
Cheers. Happy B-Day, Daddy MSS. Thanks for good time Saturday. The wife loves the 108. Cheers. Cheers to you and your wife, Drew.
Cheers, Mr. Bogues.
That's good. Yeah. Bogues. Not Boggs. Bogues.
Bogues.
stuff.
Beef, how you doing?
Bogues.
Oh, boy.
I'm good, boys. Real quick, I've been thinking about our people out in the suburbs, because we've had some real extreme weather lately. And one thing that, people brag about their big lawns and all this stuff in the burbs, but then when we get a lot of rain, their basement turns into like a swimming pool. Whereas the city is built better. Like, we just don't get all that shit. It just doesn't happen as much to us. But one thing that we do get in the city, and we are the champion. Chicago's the champion of this.
Rats.
Rodents. Yes, absolutely. So where my story picks up is my wife's getting ready yesterday, because her and Bonita heading out of town. They're going to go see my in-laws in Austin. And I happen to be downstairs when she's downstairs, and she's like, oh my God. And she jumps back, and we have like a little window that I'm looking straight at right now. And all it is like a half cutout window into my basement, basically. Now, my basement's street level, but up against the sides, there's like, it's built up.
It's a window well.
It's a window well, basically.
Window well, that's what they call it.
What's inside the window well, running around, is a mouse. It must have fallen down. Now, the depth of this thing is got to be...
A mouse or a rat?
A mouse. It's a mouse.
Did you have stacks and stacks and stacks of rats?
Just one. A single one. A small one. So, we're like, well, what are we going to do? And Bonita comes down. She's like, we got to let it in. It's gonna starve there. It's like, we are not letting it in the house,
Oh, my God.
So we go outside. Bonita and I go outside. We chop down like a big weed that's growing in between the houses. And I put it down in there for it to try to climb up, And then I leave it because I got to get to work, So I don't think anything of it. I drive to work. I get a text from Bonita, and I failed to realize something very important about this window. It's right at a level in which certain members of my household can take a look. And we had a captive audience for the mouse. There's a picture of Cappuccino sitting there, and you can see
so the cat's
bottom,
right at the window.
Yeah, and right at the bottom. Yes, right at the bottom there of exactly. The cat's staring right out the window.
You can
and
see
right at the bottom of that is
there.
where the mouse is at. The mouse is trying to climb up. Bonita messaged me. She's like, this mouse is not in very good shape. It doesn't look like it can climb up there or whatever. So here's the reverse angle. And Cappuccino, you can see Cappuccino is very focused in on what's going on outside. He's very taken by this, and so I was surprised.
Great shirt on Bonita, by the way.
That's a great shirt on Bonita. And it didn't just end there with Cappuccino. Pinkie Pie got into the act, and she was up in the window looking for the mouse. So before Bonita and Mrs. Beef left for the airport, Bonita put some strawberries down there for it to eat. And then they made another kind of thing to help it get out of there. So when I got home, which was a little later than normal, that was when all the tornado warnings were going on. I checked. I didn't see it in there. I've checked again today. So I think it actually climbed out of there. We finally were able to save it, and it didn't starve down there in the hole. But an eventful day, nonetheless. Yeah. You guys, any experience like this?
I love my niece.
Yeah.
I think she's fantastic. Great shirt as well.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
But Chicago has an extreme rodent problem.
Yes. Yes, it does.
Your cats are trying to be part of the solution.
They are.
And your daughter is not. And we just need We just need to address this, okay? We need to level set here.
Yeah.
We got to get rid of these rodents. And then if one of your cats ate that mouse when no one was looking, kudos to them. Kudos to them.
I'll buy them whatever they like. Whatever they like, I'll get them. I'll get them a
More
scratch
mice,
and
maybe.
post, whatever.
Maybe more mice.
Those aren't hard to find.
No.
You won't even need to buy those.
Kick over a garbage can.
Sleep some food on
30,
it.
40 right there.
You might find something. Guys, is it me?
MSS, how you doing, brother?
Good. So I was going to talk about how we don't need another fucking Willy Wonka movie. They're already doing the previews for the prequel to Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory right now in July, and it comes out at Christmas time. And I'm like, holy fuck. You know, like when I see the back to school sales coming out, I'm like, okay, it's 2 months. All right, I get it. But like you're already promoting a movie that doesn't come out till December in July. And I mean, if you look at the numbers of our Christmas and July sale for the 108 here just recently, you'll realize that people don't give two shits about that because they just did not buy any sweatshirts or any fucking ornaments from us. But anyway.
MSS, I kind of get it. I kind of get it, right? Because
I don't get
you think about how great the original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory
good.
is.
Yeah.
And ironically,
it's so great.
Weird.
And then they were like, you know what? We can make more money off of this. And then they made the Johnny Depp one.
They did.
And that was so horrible and so unwatchable that I agree that they should make more of that. Like let's build on top of what was awful.
Treasy, let me ask you a question.
Let's keep running down this trail because it was bad enough that we need more of it.
Okay. How much do you think the Johnny Depp Charlie and the Chocolate Factory remake made worldwide?
$80 million.
$465 million.
Terrible.
That's insane.
How much did it cost them?
I don't know, but even if it cost him $200 million to make that movie, that's like a lot of money. Like I was ready to say this is
that movie.
I'm like, this is a piece of shit, right? Like it's a total piece of shit movie, right? And I'm like, I would never watch that. And then I look at the sales and I'm like, oh my god, a lot of people watch this. So like, I don't know what the fuck happened.
That's
anyway.
Upsetting.
Hey, I was going to talk more about that, and this is more of a conversation I thought we were going to have. But then this little beauty showed up in the mail today, and boys, I've been a season ticket holder for 4 fucking years, and that's great. And I've been seeing people posting. There's like Wally posted his, and he has like he's been a season ticket holder for 34 years, which is great. You know,
damn, he's old.
I thought that was funny. Alexis posted that she is a 31-year season ticket holder, and she's not even 31 years old. So it was.
That's tough.
This has just been a very thing, and so initially I'm like, okay. The wife comes home and she says, "Oh, you know, they probably should have checked that." And I go, you know what, you're right. They should have checked that. And I'm also like was telling you guys when we started this is like they don't send us a lot of things. Like there's not a lot of things that come from the organization as like a season ticket holder. They're not like, here, enjoy this, you know, that's personalized with your name on it. Here, have this. You know, they don't do that anymore. They used to do a season ending gift, a renewal gift. They used to do a lot of different things. They don't do those anymore. And the pins, like I feel like they remember them like every 2 years, and they're like, oh shit, we should do a pen. And they send them out, and like even this, like it's just like, holy Christ, what the fuck happened? Like you don't send us anything, and then when you do send us something, you fuck it up, and it's really hard to like go, well, it's just, you know, it's just the socks, you know. Well, you guys got to get it together a little bit. Like these little things you can control, right? You can't control the team, kind of can't control the front office, but I would hope that my season ticket rep would know how many years I've been a season ticket holder and maybe make sure that I got the right fucking pin. Like it's just so weird. It's so sad and like, it's pathetic.
Like just send out a pin that says season ticket holder.
Right. Yeah. Just
Like, if you have no idea and you're just gonna randomize it, if you're just gonna go like lottery balls out of the chute, like just say season ticket holder pin. Like why try and put a number on it when you have no idea or apparently don't?
The team loses in the stupidest possible ways, and then when they do stuff like this, they lose in the stupidest possible ways. Also, like it's amazing.
Guys, I know this. I know that the team's not good on the field, but we're gonna try and make it up by getting the amount of years you've been a ticket holder extremely wrong.
It's just And it's like such a small, dumb thing that like nobody's going to miss if you don't send it out. Not one person will be like, you know what? They used to send these really nice pins, and they don't anymore. Like, this is my second 4-year pin I've gotten. It's like I'm like an alcoholic with I've gone back and got my 1-year chip or my 60-day chip, 3 times now. It's like I don't think that's how it works. I think you have to give them back. Like I have to give one of my 4 years back to maybe attain the 8 or 9 that I'm supposed to be, or 10. I don't know. Shit. I mean, it was just I don't know. I was hoping that you guys got yours so I could see which one of you got 1 year and which one of you got 2 year. Because I feel like that's happening. I feel like that's what's going to be going down.
It doesn't matter. Even if we were to get a pin, we know that it would be absolutely wrong.
It's going to be wrong.
Like there's just no way that it's going to be right after we've seen what other people get, which is the laziest shit I could think of.
So thanks, guys.
So how many pins do you have, and then how many pins do you have total, and how many are the wrong year?
So I can only find 2, right? And I think when I got the other 2 and the 4, like I think those were right. But I have the other ones I think I have on a lanyard. Because remember those years they used to give out the pins when you checked in? I have a lanyard with all of them on there. Like the Star Wars pin, they had the skull pin. And so I have a lanyard with all those pins. I thought they were hanging up over here. They're not. So I don't know. I think I put the other ones on there. No, I didn't do that. I should have. I probably should. I'll do that soon when my kid has to go to college.
Well, you can't find them.
Smoke weed every day.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I don't know. I'll go check and then I will. I'll give them out to people. Like I'll ask who needs a 4-year, who needs a 2-year.
While you're trying to figure out other ways to make us money, here's one way to make us money: pay some bills, my friend.
Oh, I thought did you do your banjo?
I did right out of the gate.
Yep.
Oh, all right. I like you.
As we embrace the warmth and joy of summer, don't forget to prioritize routine Mazda maintenance. By taking the time to perform essential summer maintenance tasks, you can ensure a safe and smooth journey to your destinations. At Mazda of Orland Park, their dedicated service center is here to assist you in keeping your vehicle in optimal condition. Schedule your summer maintenance appointment with them today and enjoy a worry-free summer on the road. Summer's ever-changing temperatures can lead to tire pressure fluctuations and an increased risk of flat tires. Regularly checking your tire pressure is crucial to avoid inconvenient roadside tire changes. Skilled technicians at the Mazda Service Center can inspect your tires, ensuring they are properly inflated. This minimizes the chance of flat tires while optimizing handling and fuel efficiency. Their exceptional service department is dedicated to addressing all of your vehicle needs, ranging from repairs to routine maintenance appointments. Head on over to www.mazdarolandpark.com to explore their exclusive service specials today. You can drop by Mazda of Orland Park at your convenience or schedule service appointments online. Their skilled mechanics are committed to ensuring a swift and satisfactory experience, leaving you with a smile as you drive away. Whether you're from the Chicagoland area, Northwest Indiana, or Southeast Wisconsin, they would love to have you visit and test drive a Mazda today. Mazda of Orland Park, home of the Zoom Nation, 8910 West 159th Street, Orland Park. 708-444-3200. Zoom.
All right. Well, it's time to bring in our guest. And it's also time for me to hand over the reins to My Sock Summer. We're going to do a little White Sox talk, but a little bit different than normal. So, My Sock Summer, I would love for you to take it away and to introduce our friend, Missy Carroll.
Hey, guys.
What's up? All right, guys.
Hi.
Hey, Missy. I'm going to do a little intro here, and then we're going to go. We're going to roll.
Okay.
I became aware of Missy after she had started her Southside Behavior TikTok, and Svo had invited her into the melting pot that is White Sox Twitter. I watched her videos and thought, here is a great personality out here being a menace and having fun. The drinking, the wild behavior, it was great to see from the use. Southside Behavior had a solid following, but I did more digging. Missy's main on TikTok does work. Her top video has 6.3 million views. Others almost 2 million views each. The numbers are staggering, and so are the topics. From the weight loss journey to mental health to shotgunning beers, Missy really covers it all. She has an authentic voice to her followers and is just her on TikTok. Ladies and gentlemen, Missy Carroll.
What's up, Missy?
I had to get that horn in one more time.
That was beautiful. I hope that's what they say at my funeral.
I mean, they're not that nice to you on famous birthdays because they still have that
They
picture
are
of you
not
up.
at all.
You know.
I updated it. I did. I sent them a message. They updated my famous birthdays.
I love it. So we're having you on tonight because you wrote this really big, long manifesto on White Sox Twitter. And we're going to get to that. Not White Sox Twitter, White Sox social media. And we're going to get to that. But first, we want to know a little bit more about you, the person behind all these TikToks. How did you get started on TikTok, your main? And, like, how did this just, like, blow up as much as it did?
Yeah, so I started when I was a junior in college. This was 2019. So this was when TikTok was not cool to have. This was when it was really cringy. But there were a lot of funny videos, and my roommates were like, you would be really good at making TikTok videos. And I was like, okay. So I like got on it and I started making videos, but it didn't go anywhere until quarantine, April 2020. There is one specific video that I think you think I went viral for, my sock summer, but there's one before that no one remembers I went viral for because it didn't have my face in it. That it said like Shakespeare wrote his best work during the plague, and so then I flipped the camera to my laptop and it said it was me typing "thick is an understatement," a memoir by Missy Carroll, and that one went viral. And then but the one that did go viral that like started me was dyeing my hair. I just bought a box dye. I've never dyed it before. I started dyeing my hair during the pandemic. I set up a camera and I would just snip together some good parts and people just thought it was funny. So then I did that and then I rebuilt a cabin by myself. So a lot of people followed for that reason. And then they also followed for like what I call controlled chaos, like the shotgunning and all that stuff. So it started.
All right, hold on. We gotta stop for a second. You rebuilt a cabin? Wait, explain what she did. I feel like I'm not understanding this correctly.
Yeah, whiteboard this for us.
Flooring, walls, you name it. I went under the house and put up more support beams in it. Yeah, we have a little cabin at my lake house that like my grandpa built by himself, or not by himself, with like his sons and stuff, and it needed renovating and they were going to tear it down, and I said, don't tear it down, I'll just redo the whole thing by myself, and I did. So summer of 2020, that was like my little baby project. I ripped down the walls, ripped down the ceilings, put in floors, painted a lot.
I feel like that's more impressive than any of the videos. Like that's just like I don't think the other three of us could do this. I think that's it.
No, not at all.
I'm very crafty. I built a porch by myself. Yeah, I did a lot of
doing
that. A lot of people followed for that.
No,
this is what I thought. What Baloney said right here. I just assumed rebuilt the cabin was slang for something I'm too old to understand. That's what I thought it was too, Tracy. I was just gonna let it go. I'm glad you brought it back though. It was a good idea. Like this is ridiculous.
we do have a drink here. Everybody get down on this drink. So this is from Father Zoe says O'Doyle
Zoe.
and Table 3 rules.
Oh geez.
Cheers.
Here we go.
What are you drinking, Missy?
An old style. I had the Four Loko as a bit. I really am not gonna drink this, guys.
You're gonna waste the Four Loko.
You're disappointing the.
I'll put it in the fridge for later. I'll cover it.
So now you're having put a little top on it.
I'm thinking.
That's good. Maybe some plastic. So you're 2020. You know, TikTok's going. We know you went to U of I. You're supposed to be an engineer. Did you switch up shit and start majoring in social media, or what the fuck did you do? Just drop out of school? What'd you do?
Yeah. So a little bit of all that. So once I started, I mean, not to be sappy, but like, it's always been hard. I felt like growing up trying to be myself, because you guys see myself. I'm very weird. I'm very outgoing, a little off-putting sometimes. And I started just posting that. I started just posting being myself on social media, and I grew a following, felt like I had a little home, a little acceptance, and I felt like I was being very creative, which I didn't feel that way about engineering. I didn't have that same passion that I had towards like entertaining and like thinking of good ideas. Editing videos was like, I was very passionate about it more than engineering. Yeah. So I switched from engineering to advertising. And I was supposed to do a 5th year at U of I anyways for engineering, scrap that, totally new year. And then going into that, I took a class called, what's it called? Fandom in sports fandom, I think it's called. Mm-hmm. That's where Outside Behavior started. So it was all about growing a social media fan page for a team. And I already had that social media background, so then I did that. And then Outside Behavior took off last year. And then we just decided 5 years in a row of school was enough. So I'm on a gap year right now.
Nice. Gap years.
I'm hoping to finish my degree eventually, but like 5 years, 4 of them being engineering, electrical engineering at the University of Illinois was a lot. And so, yeah, I'm trying to revive myself to finish school.
Okay. Well, you don't got to do that if you don't have to. Like, that's what I've been noticing. Like, I've just been noticing
if my mom's watching, don't tell her that, but
you get a good gig. Now, listen, I don't know if I would tell my daughter the same thing after she spent 4 years of my money at a university. I don't know.
Oh, it wasn't their money. I got loans up the ass. That was none of their money.
Listen, you're doing fine. You'll get there. You'll do what you're supposed to be doing. Now, you wrote a little blog for us about the White Sox social media manifesto, about how much you don't like them. Can you give me, before we get way too deep into that, can you give me what makes a good profile on like the Twitters, the TikToks, the Instagrams? Like, what's something that everyone can do? Like, even if you're starting out, like, we got a lot of people that watch our show and try to steal our shit. What's one thing that they could steal? Or could you give them a hint? How do you make your Twitter better?
So I put it in the blog that it is just having a personality and then using that personality in your voice. You got to create you have to create something marketable, which is, right. Try not to go too much into brand personality and voice, but personality is like like human characteristics that are attached to a brand name. So like for you guys, it's very like the realistic honesty, but also funny and comical. And so anyone who's starting to build a brand or something, and I've had to build, like I worked for my brother's small businesses before. The first thing I do is I look at their audience and I create a personality of like what that audience wants to see, and then make something in that personality stand out. So it's not like too predictable, but it's something that they like, but there's something just like a little bit off that makes them unique. So I would say doing that, it definitely, it's all about audience when you're creating a brand. That's probably what I would say first. Is a perfect profile is you focusing on your audience at all times, and then making it something your own. There's tons of ideas out there. You can find one that will fit,
Yeah, and I think, you mentioned in the blog that we do that really well. What are some of the things that we do really well more? Tell us more about how we do things well.
Oh, God.
Looking for a pat on the shoulder here.
Hello. Oh.
All right, not to stroke your egos a little bit here, but you guys
really?
do it very well. You guys actually do, whether you know it or not, you guys have a very good brand personality and brand voice to you guys, which I would say is like I said, like you guys are very honest and realistic about this team, but you're also very witty and very funny. And the thing about a brand personality is you always want to elicit a positive reaction out of it. You don't want a brand to make you feel worse about yourself. You want to elicit a good emotional response from it. So you guys always do that. And you especially do that through like your humor. And I'll cite the one example is you guys do the horny meter.
Yeah, the horny meter.
It's my first year here still. Wow, what a segment. But it's perfect. It's really perfect because it makes you guys be realistic. It makes you guys say, what's really happening, be honest. But then you're also like, I'm kind of horny about it. Like, you guys end up making it funny and candid and down to earth, which is what your audience, us, really likes about it. And you guys very much appeal to fans because you guys are fans. So we see ourselves in you. You relate a lot to your audience. And it just makes like the audience feel like they're a part of the 108 in that way. And whether you guys know it or not, your voice also speaks that way. In person and online, the three of you combined make a really good voice because you touch on all bases. So do you need me to stroke your ego a little bit more?
That was really good.
I think it'd be better to hear what we do shitty. I mean,
that's how Treasy and I are. We want to know what do we do wrong? How can we get better? But maybe that's for a different time. You know,
is MSS too horny? That's the question. That's the real question I'm asking.
Are we holding Loaf back? Is that what me and Treasy are doing?
Is my nose too far in the way during these live streams?
No, your nose is perfect, Beef Loaf. Don't change your plan.
Well, let's not lie now.
This is mean. But is there anything that we should change? Do you think we should change something up?
So, Mr. My Sock Summer, your TikToking needs to be a little bit better.
Here we go.
Oh, wow. Well, so what's wrong with this TikToking?
So I have it pulled up right here on my phone.
Let's get into it.
So I'm not done with you from Festivus. You took a couple month hiatus after I buried you in Festivus about your TikTok.
I didn't want to get stolen by the Chinese government. Right.
And
that's what I didn't want to do.
But then you resurfaced and you didn't tell me. You didn't tell me a thing. But guess what? I found it. It came up on my For You page. You haven't learned a damn thing from that Festivus show. You haven't learned one thing. You're doing room tours. You're doing just pictures with videos over it. No video, just a picture.
That's right.
You got to cut out the stickers, man. The stickers make you look
stickers.
really boomerish. I'm sorry. I'm actually not sorry. That was so boomerish, My Sock Summer.
I gotta bring up this. I gotta bring up this comment real quick because Warranty gave an LOL. I have headphones in. 2 rooms over. This is a true LOL. I heard it from the other.
You know what, John? This is the second time you said this that my haiku math is off. Okay. He says, I need to work on my haiku math. Other than that, I'm perfect. I appreciate the perfect part, but the AI wrote the haiku. I didn't even do it.
You could still read through it.
You hired an AI? Or not hired?
No, I didn't hire
AI?
it. I just plugged it in, and they just gave me this crap. And I was like, oh, whatever.
Missy, I want to circle back to the brand personality and brand voice idea here because when I was rereading, I read the article the first time in the edit bay, then once it was out there, and then I reread it this morning again. And it popped in my head, like the White Sox did have a brand personality. I remember when they had the grinder rules, and that shit is still up all over the place. Yeah. But they don't seem to like use it anymore. They don't seem to like push any of that anymore. Like, would they be better off just like getting Chat GPT to write some shit for them? Like, is that the path they're on right now, or like, what you know? Let's start diagnosing this social media and why it's so bad, because it seems like they weren't always this bad.
Yeah. So I can't tell you where they went wrong or what went wrong or their problems now or like why they have problems now, because I'm not involved in that. But I just don't think that if we're just talking about right now, I don't think that like, and I mean no disrespect to them. I think I've cooked them a lot. I mean no disrespect to them. It just doesn't look like they're there. It looks like they're just posting because they have to. They're not really giving it any culture, any life. Mm-hmm. You know, your personality comes out into what you do, how you say it, and what you post. And what they post is like, Luis Robert hit a home run. We had to say something. That's like what it's coming off as. I'm not sure if there's like a censorship portion going on around there where like they can't. But to that point, I say you should look at like the legit MLB TikTok. Like the MLB TikTok is more exciting than the White Sox social media combined. And it's like you need to be looking at what other people are doing, because you can have like a culture and stuff. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what went wrong and why they're not especially the Southsider aspect since the city connects.
They don't like the South Side.
I don't get that. I don't get that from the Southside behavior account has grown from, trust me, it's not 14,000 White Sox fans. It's 14,000 of every fan. Right. I don't think I could gather that many White Sox fans together. It's 14,000 of baseball fans, because people see what I post. They think it's funny. They think it's cool. They like the little Southside twist I put on. And people on there have been like, I bought a Southside jersey because that jersey's hard as fuck. Yeah, it is a hard look. Awesome. It is a hard as fuck look. And I think that they put that out and then just like got scared and backed away from it. They need to go all in on that. That's my personal opinion on what they should do, though.
So, Miss, I don't think
quick drink.
It's not even them. Oh, yeah, okay, let's do this drink.
Chicago's Finest says, worked at the ballpark for 33 years. Sox have made playoffs 5 of those. The organization has been a mess, but White Sox fans are the best. Cheers, Chicago's Finest.
Oh, I love that Chicago's Finest. Let me pour some more fake orange juice into this.
Oh, my gosh.
I do have a question to tack onto that.
Throw them in
while we're talking about
pepper.
It. So, do you like one thing that Beef and I have talked about this in recent past, because the draft has just happened and we're looking back on previous drafts, and the Sox seem to draft what we consider high floor guys, right? Like guys that like they might not be the star, right? But you kind of draft them and think like, well, they won't be bad, right? Yeah. Do you think that the Sox have taken in the social media aspect a similar approach of low risk, low reward, right? Like we need to be out there, but this doesn't produce a lot for us in terms of getting people into the park, getting people engaged. So let's just be out there, but let's be kind of vanilla so that like we never end up on we've offended somebody or we've done something wrong, but at the same time, like we will never shoot the moon and like people go like, you know, like the reaction people have to the Savannah bananas, right? Where they're like, I don't know what this is, but I like it and I want to be a part of it, right? Like, do you think that's the approach that they've gone like, we don't quite grasp this. We don't really want to break anything. We're just going to go low risk, low reward. Here's the vanilla content.
That's absolutely it. Like that is absolutely what it feels like they're doing. And it's harmful. It's doing more harm than they think. Nothing. It's more harmful than anything, because it's turning off your fan base. Your fan base is like, at the end of the day, our social media sucks. Look at what the Reds just posted. And it's the Reds. And they're going on this run. And like, look at what the Detroit Tigers just posted. I laughed. But those are the Detroit Tigers. What am I laughing about? Like that, you know? And so I think they're playing it very safe. Don't want to step on any toes. When you're good at what you do, when you're good at social media and you have those creatives, checks and balances, you can post something that's really fun and out there, but still is like appropriate.
You say that in the article. And so you wrote this big long manifesto, and like your biggest points, and you know, it's what you've been saying, you know, like there's no voice, there's no personality associated with their stuff. It's very robotic, right? Yeah. And when I think robotic, I think Pedro Grifol. Like it's exactly the same kind of deal. It's like, I'm going to say exactly what you want me to say. I'm going to tell you all the things you need to hear, but like there's going to be no fucking feeling behind it whatsoever. It just doesn't feel it. So I'm like, so I'm in my head, I'm going, okay, well, Missy is a young girl, right? And she's a young woman, and she knows this thing. And I remember being young too, and I'm like, okay, you just need to like rip it up and just like go out there and just do it. And then I'm like, but it's a big organization, and it's a lot of money, and you don't want to piss people off because you don't want them to not come and support your product, right? So I'm like, is there a line between like being on the edge, you know, of what this? And you said in the article, go look at the Blackhawks TikTok. And I did not do that, even though I sat on that article for 3 months. So I went and looked at it today. I went and looked at it today, and they are exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. And it's like, it is not, there's nothing like awful on there, like, and it's not cutting edge, but it's just funny. Like, they have all the kids that they just drafted in the hockey draft, and they're like, this is our version of One Direction. And like, apparently all the kids that they drafted, their names are One Direction people, except for one. So like, they have the guys from One Direction introducing themselves with the guy, and then the last guy's name is Willie. So then they're like, they're all in the One Direction guy's voice, and then the last one's like, Willie. You know, it's just,
they did The Simpsons. Mr. Black.
Yes, exactly. That's 100% right. And I was like, this is what she's talking about. Like, it doesn't need to be like, it doesn't need to be like, hey, go fuck your mother, Detroit. You know, or like, go blow another crack whore. You know, whatever. You don't need to do that. You can be funny and have like take some steps, and like it would be a lot better. Like, and you don't really have to do this. Now, I'll say this too, Miss. There has been, the Sox have a really, really awful time when they go behind a player and they're like start to promote that player. They did a bobblehead of Nick Swisher the first year he was in the league, right? And would play for the Sox, and he was awful. They had to get rid of him because he was such a turd, you know, and everybody hated him. But now we have a Nick Swisher bobblehead to remind us of how shitty he was. Now they put a lot of stock into Tim Anderson, and then all of a sudden all the Tim Anderson stuff comes out, and you're like, oh man. So like with the players, what is something that they can do with these guys to make people like? Damn it. We're not getting the Sox Fest. We're not getting the interaction with the players and having that fun interaction, right? Like, it's harder to hate somebody if you know them, right? And if you know who they are, then you might not hate them as much. So what's something that they could put out there and like introduce us to some of these players, especially now coming up? Because we're going to trade away everybody we know, right? It looks like everyone that's fun and entertaining is going to be gone. So we're going to have a new crop of people coming in that are sucking. What's one way that they can make it better for us as a fan to meet these new players?
I think the perfect way, and it's not an alternative to Sox Fest, but the way that people not even in the Sox fan base can have a little Sox Fest is every day on their social media, going up to these players and talking to them. And I wish so badly we could just sit here and scroll the Blackhawks TikTok, because now you've seen
it's good
what they do. They go up to the players and they ask them stupid random questions. Nothing that's tying them down to the organization, but just stupid random stuff to get to know them better. And they don't. And the White Sox, what makes me mad about when they try to do that is that they overproduce it. They put a fun, funky text on it. They put this funky music. It looks like it wasn't just like made on the spot, which no audio. Just what is Joe Kelly's? If Joe Kelly was an animal, what would he be? Tell me. Like, it just stuff like that. Like, and then clip them together and put it out there. If Joe Kelly gets traded away, we weren't tied down, but at least we got to know the guy and we actually kind of like him. We thought it was a respectable answer, you know?
We knew that he was a barracuda.
The answer to that would be an old injured bird. So let's get a couple drinks in real quick. Baloney says, here's a couple bucks so that Beef can buy some real orange juice.
Thanks, buddy.
Sorry, it's Sunny D's not.
Yeah. Thank you, Peter, but also fuck you.
Daniel says, and I apologize for my Gaelic is terrible, but I think he says sláinte, folks. So, Luis Robert to review Phil's or Palermo's on 95th when? That would be awesome. Like, especially because he's a big Domino's guy. Imagine him eating one of those. That's a great call, Daniel. Cheers.
Cheers.
And that's something that I was thinking about too. It's like, I wonder if the Sox are so hard up that they just don't want to like give away free advertising to something like that. Because your brand personality could be like, you just post a picture of Phil's and just be like, and do the if you know, you know. Like, and just like that could be a tweet and that would probably go viral. Like, know, like, or antique taco, just like boom, if you know, and everyone except Sfo would like that. So yeah. And
it's just one more drink. Sox. He says, surprise, MSS runs the Sox social media accounts. Shout out, Missy.
God, I wish.
And he says, MSS, where's my fucking sticker?
I got mailed today. I threw it in the old mailbox.
Oh, that sounds horny. All right.
So
MSS, you're back.
I am back. I was just pouring a little bit more of a drink out of here. Be nice and hammered. That's really a lot of what I had. Do you guys have some questions for Missy? Loaf, I'll start with you.
Yeah, you know what?
Or Missy, do you have something else you got to say? You can think about that
too. I'll save my questions for the end.
You mentioned the potential that it could be that they're kind of playing it safe, but in any job, there's always ways around stuff. There's always a way to kind of do the thing you want to do and not ask for permission, but beg for forgiveness kind of later on. At some point, some of this should be on the creative person too, to push themselves and to be better in these spots. And this is something I've complained to these guys about. In stadium, I don't like any of the stuff that they do on the scoreboard. The Bona Beef race stinks. The only thing I like is they have the groundhog that says Deo at the end of the game. I love that. But other than that, I'm not a big, So, I mean, any tips for the person to just kind of sneak around the corner and not upset the apple cart, but do something creative that kind of piques some interest? Because you're right. I don't even follow the Sox Twitter account. I'll be honest with you. Perfectly honest. If you look at my Twitter, I don't have the follow button on them because I don't care. I don't care. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I would say a system for them is a good checks and balances. The creatives and the checks. The checks need to broaden their view a little bit of what's acceptable. But the creatives, what I would say to them is, first off, pitch everything that is even out of the box. You need to get it all out there because one of the checks might even be that could actually work. But I think the next way for them to actually be able to get something approved is to give them a plan of action. What shots do I need? What do I need? This time works perfect with the players. I'll go and do it during this time. Actually putting an action plan to it, not just an idea on a whiteboard. I think that would probably move a lot more fingers, to be okay, yeah, go ahead and do that. That's probably the most advice I would have for them, because I honestly don't know how their system runs, but that's what I would say is just put a plan of action.
It doesn't run well.
Yeah.
So I feel like baseball in general has a problem with this, right? I think you look at the NBA, and the NBA is extremely good at marketing players. I know a bunch of NBA players, and I probably watch 10 games a year, right? I maybe watch the playoffs, right? Yeah. And the fact that I know a bunch of the guys who are in the NBA, and I think about guys like Jason Tatum, and I'm this is a star, and I shouldn't know who he is because I don't really watch that much basketball. Missy, if you had the chance, because baseball's doing such a terrible job, to take one baseball player who they are way under marketing and say, I'm going to take this guy and I'm going to at least let people know who don't watch baseball or casually watch baseball, I'm going to let them know who this guy is. I mean, you could take a White Sox player, or you could take just anybody across the league and say, I want to put this person up on a pedestal, and I think that they're marketable. Who
Romy
would that
Gonzalez.
be? Other than, Romy
Gonzalez.
You could put him on a pedestal, but that's a little Buffalo Billish of you.
So if we're talking White Sox, Burger.
or across the league. I mean,
I could do both. I can do Jake Burger on the White Sox should be the most marketable person ever. Story-wise, personality, he has it. They mic'd him up twice last year, and it was the funniest stuff I've ever seen their social media do. And I'm not just saying this because I love his family as well, but
yeah, you guys are best buds.
Yeah,
Hello.
I mean, I love his sister is awesome. But I'm not kidding. Jake Burger's the easily most marketable person on this team. You can
why though? Give me the three traits that are very marketable out Jake.
I feel like he's very outgoing. He's very funny, and I think even saying honestly, he's very honest with himself. Ashlyn said, he's back in the batting cages already. He's very honest about how he's not doing well, and I think he's just very a relatable guy, down to earth person. He has a great family behind him, like Ashlyn. It always interacts with us. And he has a great story to him, just in general. He has an awesome story. So I feel like when you're posting about players as well, just a little tidbit, you gotta, like the Blackhawks TikTok I said, you gotta be in love with these players. You gotta be like, this is my family. You can't be tweeting like, looks great, whatever. No, you gotta be like, I love Jake Berger. I would die for him on the end of the earth. You'd rather be like that than being like, whatever, Jake Berger's here today. So I think if they were to go do it right, they should do it on Jake Berger in the White Sox organization.
I love this answer. I love this answer because it's like it's very easy to like look at the league and to look at the team and go like, well, Mike Trout's undermarketed.
Yeah.
He's incredibly
boring.
good. He's incredibly good, right? And he's kind of boring. Or if you look at our team, Luis Robert, like I could just put a picture of Luis Robert's abs on Instagram and a million likes. Like there's no skill to that.
Yeah.
Right.
But a guy like Jake Berger, I think that a Southsider especially relates to Jake Berger. They're like this guy's a little chubby.
Allegedly.
You know, he's not supposed to be here. He wasn't even on the team. He's filling in, and he's doing better than just a backup guy should do in this position.
Yeah.
And I think that there's something about that people fall in love with. And it's MSS, you've talked about this a lot. The unknown, the backup quarterback, right? People love that story. They love hearing about how this guy overcame 1 million Achilles injuries, right? And like he's not supposed to be here, and then he's here, right? I know Jake Berger's a first round pick, but he's overcome a lot, right? Like and he's not supposed to be a third baseman either. He was drafted as a third baseman, but we all that draft day beef. I was sitting next to you and I said,
Yep.
I want this big boy. This big boy is going to follow them, and I don't care what position he plays. He feels like one of our guys. We were excited for it, and just that. And I think that he's a relatable character like that. So I really like that answer of like, if you were to grab onto somebody and say, this is who we're going to promote. Here's a guy. Yeah. And Polka was the same way to us, right? Like, I mean, like it was like let's get behind Polka. He's a great story. Is he going to last forever? Is he going to be the greatest White Sox in history?
Exactly.
Probably not. But like, at the end of the
White Sox
day,
Dave fucked him up.
is everybody going to enjoy this? Is everybody going to be on this guy's side? Are we gonna ride and die with him? And I like that.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. It's someone you want to ride or die for, and he's someone that he's also a person that like his family loves Chicago. And it's nice to have a guy who loves to be here.
Right, yeah.
And is, we're about him and he's about us. That's a perfect relationship. It's a perfect storm, and I think they're really dropping the ball by not promoting him as much as they are, or not giving him as much screen time as they are. They're really,
He wasn't their pick, though.
I don't know.
That's right. He was the hardest cut. Yeah. He was the hardest cut that Pedro's ever made.
I never forgive him. Well, it's for that. I said at the beginning of the year, he's definitely on the team. And when he wasn't, I was like, I lost all faith already. I was already out by April.
Oh, out by April. Oh, shit. I do wonder why, like, Freddy's, they made a burger for Yerman, like, in the first month of his like having a little thing, and you have a guy with burger in his name, and you can't even fucking make a burger for him. Like, maybe I should call a Ballpark Pub and be like, dude, let's get the burger bomb going here. Let's do some shit, do something. Christ almighty, like, you'll get some free publicity from
maybe he
it.
threatened to sue.
Simple.
You never know. Maybe he's like, don't you dare make a burger of me. I want all the rights to my burger.
Even more. That's why he's so marketable. He's down for whatever.
He's down. He's down for whatever.
Down for whatever. We need marketing.
Missy, you have anything else you want to tell us first before we get to the next topic? Because I got a next topic for you. Anything more social media? You guys got any other questions for Missy on the social media aspect?
No, sir.
No.
Okay,
No.
so Missy, you're young. We're old. Okay, we're gonna throw some things at you to see if what we can do to increase our likability with the youngsters. And I'll go first. I stopped wearing cargo shorts. Okay, but I switched up the cargo shorts, and now I wear flat bill trucker caps. Was that a good upgrade, or is that gonna make me more likable to the young kids, or is that gonna make me less likable?
Like the trucker, like these.
It's a flat bill.
Flat brim.
Yeah, it's flat bill, and I put the sunglasses on there, and it makes me look like a
flat
skateboarder
brim
or
reminds
something.
me of like my boyfriends in 6th grade. That's a no-go.
That's pretty young. I don't know if I want to go that young.
Like this type hat. Cargo shorts, great. Good job.
Okay, so no more
cargo.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
No.
But flat bill hats, don't do flat bill hats. I got to curve my bill.
Flat bill hats are like, yeah. You know, they're looking a little.
Damn.
Am I going with my personal taste? If I saw a guy in the street with a flat billed hat, I'd be like, nah. Yeah. So I would say no.
Would you follow his White Sox Twitter though, or no?
His Twitter.
Yeah. Would you follow my Twitter? You ever follow his Twitter? If you just knew that he was like a flat bill guy.
I would, but I'd keep my distance.
Okay. All right.
He'd probably be a reply guy.
What an answer.
He'd be a reply guy.
Oh, yes. Probably be a reply guy, yes.
Whoa, you're up.
So I tweeted this a couple months ago, Missy, and Bonita told me back then, she said that I'm just a mood, I'm not a vibe. So, and you were the first person to reply, yes, and you agreed. So 2 things. 1, what's the difference between a mood and a vibe? And 2, how do I become a vibe?
Okay. So a mood is just like, oh my God. It's, when you've been online for so long, it just like is,
Okay.
So like a vibe is like kind of like action-y, dewy.
Okay.
Like I feel like I'm a vibe. Like I do a lot of stuff that's kind of vibey. Mood is just like your outlook. You're just kind of a mood. You're kind of the way you say stuff and whatnot. Your vibe has got to be how you're physically hanging out. I would say that's it. Mood is mental. Vibe is physical.
Okay. All right. So it seems like I belong staying a mood. I don't need to be too physical.
You don't hurt
me.
I'll hurt my back or something. I'm
The
old. So, okay. All right. I got.
Like I'm on the dance floor,
Yeah,
and
that's
everyone's
not-
like, "That's a vibe." But you being like, I don't know, what's a hot take you have?
I don't know. I don't have hot takes.
He doesn't really have hot
You drinking?
I have a hot take.
You don't
you don't outkick your coverage. When you're married to someone, you don't outkick your coverage. You're pretty much equal. That's a hot take.
Yeah.
That's
That's
a
a mood
mood.
right-
That
that's
is
a mood
such
right
a mood.
there.
That's
Okay.
100%
Beautiful.
mood.
That's
Beautiful.
a mood. You
Wow.
drinking
Chorizo.
orange juice right now? That's a mood. No, that's a vibe. That's a vibe. You drinking orange juice
I got
right
a lot
now
of
is
questions.
It's
I got
a
lot
vibe.
of
Okay.
questions. Actually,
First, how dare you?
that is the first question. How dare you? So I'm thinking of myself here, and my Twitter feed is mainly baseball and Star Wars.
Yeah.
Who's someone that I should follow to just kind of understand a little bit more about the youth? And for me, youth is anyone under 800 years old. Also, what is Threads?
Nothing you need to be concerned with. Oh my God. All it is like the verified accounts are on there being like, LOL, what's up with this? And you're all like, oh my God, that was on Twitter 30 times. Twitter's the cesspool, and that's where I'm staying.
Nice.
Frick yeah.
Threads is like the corporate. Threads is corporate Twitter.
Damn.
Yeah, no, I'm coming after Threads. That's a weird hill to die on, but I'm coming after Threads.
Do it.
Let me
I'm
pull
dying
Elon
on
in
that
over
one.
here and give you your money.
So an account. There's not just one. Oh my God, I don't know how you can get my timeline.
What's a
I'm
hashtag I should
I would
follow?
say follow a lot of drag race stars.
Is this RuPaul Drag Race?
Yeah, I think that's just
Okay.
Yeah. the
RuPaul's Drag Race, any of them?
Not like the cars.
No, yeah.
I don't know. I'm an old. You got
We
to
are
spell it out
olds.
for me.
RuPaul's like our age though, or maybe a little
That's
older.
true.
RuPaul,
RuPaul's
from
Drag
our
Race.
RuPaul was coming up when we were coming up.
To talk about RuPaul Drag Race on
Yeah.
the show is actually awesome.
So I was doing a show.
Yeah, exactly.
I was doing a
Bring this
show
up.
at G-Man, which is right next to Metro. and like we're pulling up, and we're like, oh my God, there's a line outside the door for our show. But it wasn't. It was just that RuPaul's Drag Race was at the Metro, and the line was so long, it went past the door of where we had to load in.
Man.
I love it. I love it. Dude, I follow a bunch of RuPaul's Drag Race. I follow a lot of obscure meme accounts that you don't know who runs them. Oh God, what else? I love if I can shout out my favorite person that is like me. Her name's Brittany Broski. You guys should follow her. She's around my age.
That's what I was looking for.
She talks like me and does everything like me. Brittany Broski's a good place, and she recaps a lot of it. So, yeah, I would say get involved in those accounts. I really can't think of anything else.
I'm in. I think that's plenty.
That's a good answer.
That's plenty. I can only take so much. I can only take so much in. I only follow 4 people on Twitter. Now I'll get up to 6, 7 people.
There you go.
There we go.
Missy, I recently started wearing Crocs. Do Crocs appeal to younger kids, or do they totally turn off the younger generation?
You gave up.
So appeal. I don't get what everyone's Crocs are like in. Crocs are in. Like they are
to
it
young
right
kids.
now.
Yep.
And everyone who says they're not, I don't get it. Because
so let me explain this to you, because I think we need to do this. We need to do this in reverse.
She knows
all right?
better.
Because
shut up.
Because you know what the youngs like. I'm going to explain the olds to you, and the thing is, and this has come down generations. Because you think about the guys that used to go to ball games back in the the early 1900s. They're wearing like 3-piece suits, right? The less effort it takes to get into your clothing, the less effort you're giving in life, right? So when my sock summer can't bother to tie his shoes because he just needs slip-ons that don't even have a back because his fat feet don't fit in anything anymore, he's given up on life, as does his sweatpants, because he can't buckle his jeans and put on a belt. Jesus. I mean, this is what this all is. And I'm sorry, MSS, I hate to bring it up, but you brought it up. So I'm just going to let you know. But that is
to the younger generation.
The olds looking at the youngs going like, you can't bother? You can't bother to tie up a shoe? You got to put on this plastic shit? Come on. You're just giving up on life.
All right. No, I got to weigh in on this.
The floor is yours.
Now, I don't want to side with My Sock Summer on anything this episode because we have beef right now. Yep. But I do gotta say that giving no effort and being weird and random is so in right now. Those swim trunks, are those swim trunks that you wear? What are those? The green ones?
The green? They're not, but yes.
Yeah. So when I saw those, I made fun of you, but I was like, that is so funny.
Yep.
Yes.
And then I wore them with the Crocs.
If it's a little joke, if it's like, why would you put that together? I love it. I see people wear Crocs at the ballpark. I don't care if it's because you just slipped into them. You know what? Sometimes I slip into them because it's part of my outfit. I say I'm going to wear a top, jeans, and Crocs today. I know I'm going in those Crocs. So...
In your face, Susie.
Lazy.
I lazy My Sock Summer on this one. Crocs aren't a lazy move. Crocs are a fashion, nobody gives a fuck move. I will say that.
Loaf, you got anything else?
I don't, but I just want to say to all the people in the comments, apologies for not popping any of your comments up, because in the StreamYard they're not working.
They're not
I
working.
see on YouTube they're going fucking wild. So you guys are doing a great job in the comments.
Oh my
we just
God.
can't bring them in right now, so I apologize for that.
The last comments from 8:44. Like StreamYard's dead. So I was like, are we still on?
We're still on, but and the comments are going crazy about the all this stuff, and people are agreeing in different directions here. So
I was just
John Carney said I should wear my fedora to the ballpark. What do you think about that, Missy? Yes or no?
Sound up on Twitter mentions. Fill our Twitter mentions today again.
Yeah.
That Twitter was what? Our Twitter wait, were you guys involved in that Twitter the table thing?
Yes. Yeah, we were at tables. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
It's out of control.
I didn't tweet much about it, though.
There was a paid comment earlier about table 3, which is not my table, so fuck
it. Yeah.
I don't even remember what table I was at.
That's Missy's
That's me and
table.
Zoe.
I'm at table 2 with Peter and with Rick Hahn. So
My mentions
was
have
like-
been 20 plus all day.
yeah, they're not unstoppable, right?
Oh, it's been great. Chorizo, do you have any more questions?
No,
I got
I'm good.
one more.
I
I got
learned
one
quite a
more.
bit, and I hope that My Sock Summer, you learned a lot from me about why you shouldn't wear Crocs.
I'm gonna steal one. I might double down on them. What if I wear the Adidas ones? Are those better? Because they're Adidas and not Crocs. But they're the
No,
same
that's
thing,
worse.
it's still the same principle.
Okay.
Still the
that's
same principle.
worse,
I looked at
'cause
those.
Crocs are better.
Oh, Crocs are better. Okay, why wear the
Yeah.
Adidas
They're just
ones this
plastic
weekend?
Birkenstocks, is what I saw. That's all I saw.
Next Sunday game you're going to, Missy, I will wear the Crocs with my Jordan 1 Kibitz in there, and I think I got MLB ones in there too. They're pretty fancy.
I'll wear mine too.
All right, we'll toast a Croc. Last thing, and then we're gonna let you get out of here.
Yeah.
Can you explain? I know you've done this to me, like you've done it for me in person, but can you do it online? Can you explain the term "serving cunt" to me? Because I don't understand this.
Yes. I want to hear
I
this.
don't get
Yes.
Because you have a TikTok video where there's like an old lady. There's an old lady, and she's like, there's an old lady.
It's a term,
and she's
Treasy.
like-
Just,
It's just
Yeah.
like
go
a
with it.
comedian. She's like, kids today, they don't know how to write a check. And kids today, they don't know how to address an envelope. And then you come in and you're like, I know how to do both those things because my parents are old as fuck. And you say it's very similar. And then you say, can you serve cunt? Can you serve cunt traditionally and properly? Can you serve cunt to this woman? And I'm like, what the fuck is serving cunt? I don't know what it is. I don't know what it means. I asked you before. You gave me a very jumbled answer. So you need to give it to me again. Tell me what serving cunt actually means.
You reenacted that TikTok so well.
I did. It's good. It's a good TikTok.
Thank you. We got a lot of likes.
Yeah.
So, you know what slay is?
Yes.
So slaying is like empowering, being yourself, being like just being out there.
Slay
Yeah.
all day. Yep.
Confidence.
Yes.
So serving cunt is that to the max.
Okay.
So like,
Okay.
I need examples.
Can
'cause
men serve
there's
cunt,
something
or
where
can it
you're,
only
like,
be women
trying-
that serve cunt?
What?
Can men serve cunt also, or is it only women can serve cunt?
Absolutely. Oh my
Okay.
god, absolutely.
Oh.
Like,
Okay.
like let me think of anything you guys have done. I'm not sure. What's like an iconic photo of any of you? Oh.
There's a photo with us with
In your sweater?
mustaches.
In your sweater, you were serving cunt.
That's the sweater.
You
With the
were
buckles,
serving
all the buckles?
Yeah,
Okay.
up there. You were serving
That's
Great
cunt
dinner.
in that.
Cunt.
That was a great dinner.
If you
I
get
got a little hot
bit
by the
of
end,
a
Treasy. All the red wine.
That was serving
And the
cunt.
pasta.
Like that was great.
Okay.
So yeah,
Nice.
it's like it's that to the fullest. It's just being unapologetically yourself.
Don't
And
give a
then
fuck.
Also, a lot
to
of
the
it has
max.
to do with your outfits. A lot of you
Okay.
do not serve cunt, but that sweater was really good. I will say.
Serving
But yeah.
cunt. I was a mood also.
You were a movie.
Mood.
Not a vibe.
I hope
But
my
not a
mom
vibe.
does
Not
not,
a vibe.
see this and
Okay.
sees me.
Explaining,
35.
diagramming this for us.
Yeah.
Well,
But that-
Missy,
yeah.
Missy, we appreciate you coming on today's show. We appreciate you not killing specifically me for letting that blog linger in on your Google Docs for 2 months before I fully read it and then translated it and put it into our thing, transposed or whatever the fuck, copied, pasted, Thank you for not doing that, but thank you for coming on our show. You definitely struck a chord with all of our readers. You had a ton of fucking views. You lit up the stats on that blog. So it struck a chord. People really are really into that. So we'll have you back on, obviously. You'll be here again. We appreciate you coming on, giving us your time. I know that you're supposed to be at work, and I appreciate you telling those people to fuck off and come home early. It's nice. So thank you very much for coming on, and we'll see you soon.
All right. I'll see you guys.
Thanks, Missy.
Thank you.
Treasy,
Bye.
I'm going to pay some bills.
Lawrence's Fish and Shrimp might be the best place in the city of Chicago when it comes to the summertime. Located at the corner of 21st and Canal, Lawrence's Fish and Shrimp is right on the Chicago River. You can get a cold can of pop, beer, seltzer, or even a margarita to enjoy the sun on their huge outdoor patio. In addition to the best damn fried seafood in the city, you can even get dessert, triple chocolate cake, carrot cake, caramel cake, and even banana pudding. And if you are headed to a White Sox game, weekday or weekend, Lawrence's Fish and Shrimp on Canal is there for you. Order online or in-store and get all of your fried favorites to dine in or to go. And for a mere $20, you can get a 4-pack of White Claws with a reusable canvas cooler to take to the lot before the game. You can't beat that. Lawrence's Fish and Shrimp on Canal is also open 24 hours a day, so rest assured that even if the game runs late or you come into town early, they are serving up all your faves. Lawrence's Fish and Shrimp have 3 other locations besides 21st and Canal: 3242 West 87th Street in Chicago, 50 South Mannheim Road in Hillside, and 3248 Vollmer Road in Olympia Fields. Visit them online at lawrencesfishandshrimp.com to see their menus and place an order, and give them a follow on their Twitter at Lawrence's Shrimp. Lawrence's Fish and Shrimp, Chicago's favorite shrimp house since 1950.
All right, guys, it is time for a little more White Sox talk, and this is going to be more or less on the field. We'll see how this goes. But fellas, it is post All-Star break. We just watched our only All-Star and a true All-Star. This wasn't the hey, this guy needs to be an All-Star, so Brian LaHare is going to the All-Star game. Luis Robert was fantastic in the first half, and he went out and hit in the home run derby. Fantastic. Got a little leg cramp. I'm not going to hate on it because, hey, F the All-Star game. Don't play in it.
That's right.
Come back healthy.
Just party.
But as we look on to the second half of the season, we look at post All-Star break. The question I have for you guys is one thing. Give me one thing, on or off the field, that you are looking forward to in this second half. In post All-Star break, what are you looking forward to? And I know things are grim, so just give me. I'm only asking for one. So, Beef, I will start with you. MSS has had a lot of talking time. I need you to drink, MSS. Get a drink.
I drank. I've been drinking.
I mean, for just a quick note before I get to mine, which is about 4 different parts. I love that MSS brought up the serving cunt question because I've been thinking it as well. I'm glad you put it out there because I didn't know what it was. I saw it all over the place. I'm like, am I supposed? It's okay for me to hit the like button when someone puts that, or I don't even know what it is, but it sounds cool. Like, and it was like, great, it is. It is just
sounds
like
tough.
Kind of, at the top of your game, basically.
I can't wait to serve cunt later.
The one thing I'm really looking forward to, boys, is some interesting milestones that the White Sox are coming upon. Here's a few guys. Treasy mentioned the Luis Robert. He's got 26 home runs right now at the All-Star break. He's got a good shot to be the first White Sox to hit 40 home runs since Todd Frazier did it in 2016. Luis also has 62 runs scored as of right now. And he could be the first White Sox to get to 100 runs scored since the 2006 season.
That's insane.
And that's when Jim Thome had 108 runs scored and Jermaine Dye had 103, which is wild.
So if I'm listening to that correctly,
yeah.
So he needs 14 home runs to get to 40, and he needs 38 home runs to get to 100 runs. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, that is. That is correct. He'll probably win the home run title if he gets that far for that one.
Man, that'll be awesome.
Gregory Santos, who's been terrific in the first half. They made a nice little trade for him and brought him in here. He's on pace to be the first full-time bullpen pitcher for the White Sox to get to 80 innings pitched since 2010's Tony Pena. So it's been a long-ass time since they've had any reliever get there. I don't know if that's a good thing, but it's interesting. I call these interesting milestones, Treasy, because the next one I'm going to get to with the last one is definitely not a good one, but it would be interesting if it happened. In the first half, 103 innings pitched, Lance Lynn's given up 22 home runs. He has got an outside shot to break Floyd Bannister's record of giving up 38 home runs in a season. That was 1987. So if Lynn stays here, he has a shot to give up the most home runs ever. So I'm looking at these interesting milestones. That's kind of my focus for the second half because we don't really have, in my opinion, like a lot to look forward to here. So I'm looking for weird stuff like that.
Beef, I think we need a chart of Lance Lynn home runs given up and Luis Robert home runs hit to see like Just the race to the top.
It's true
The
because
ladder.
it's 14 versus 16. So like it's right to get to the spot. So it's interesting.
Oh my God, chorizo.
My Sox Summer. What are you looking forward to? What is the thing that you're looking forward to on or off?
I literally pressed the brain and was like, what is something on the field that I could watch? And I was like, oh, maybe some new talent coming in and we can watch them develop. And I'm like, no, we did that. We did that in 2016, 2017, 2018. Like, I don't need that again. Like, this was supposed to be our time, So I'm like, I'm probably not going to look towards the field to get any enjoyment coming out. I still like watching the games. I like watching games regardless. Like, it's like what it is, right? Like, you in and out, you see it, it's fun. 7th inning, lock in, see what happens. It's not working, it's not working. But the one thing I'm definitely looking forward to is spending more and more time off the field with our White Sox Twitter family. That seems to be the fun times, and especially when we're not worried about a pennant or not worried about going to the playoffs, not worrying about if we're going to get playoff tickets or anything associated with the playoffs. We can just sit there and vibe, maybe have a mood together, and then drink some beers, and drinks, and just have fun in the parking lot. And I just feel like, and I don't know why, maybe it's because the Sox have sucked so much since we've had this thing going, but like, the 108 seems to flourish when the team sucks dick. Really, we really do good.
We're recession proof, basically.
Yes, like people start showing up more, and they're just like, you know what? I don't even really need to watch this game today because we're 15 games out, so I'm just going to get shit-faced with beef loaf, or I'm going to go take a selfie with Teresi, which, happens a couple of times. But, so I think mostly spending time with our White Sox Twitter family. That's probably what I'm looking forward to the most in the second half of the season.
Chorizo. I love it.
How about you, buddy? What do you
That will be fun. I'm excited. I'm always excited for that. But I will say, for me personally, the thing that I'm hoping for, this is maybe more hoping for than looking forward to, is a progression out of Oscar Colas. And I think that's one guy that he's going to get in the second half, he should get the at-bats. It seems like they're willing to give him the time, see if he can develop in the pros. There's nothing left for him to learn in the minors. No. You put him down in the minors and he just jacks home runs, right? He comes up, not so much, and so he needs to learn it up here. And this is where we'll get a chance to see him. And being denizens of the right field stands,
yes,
we're gonna get an up close view of this. And to me, it's interesting because it's such an unsolved problem for the Sox over so many years.
Yep.
And now we've also gotten to the point where we have the center fielder that's locked down.
Yep,
just incredible.
So far,
our left fielder, he's locked into a contract, and I think we could all agree he's fine.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's just like I'm not excited about Andrew Benintendi, but I'm also not worried about Andrew Benintendi.
Right.
And so this is the last piece of that outfield. And if Oscar Colas can prove to be a above average player, like if we can look at him and go like, yes, that's our right fielder. That guy's going to crank some home runs. He's going to play really good defense. Like, this is a guy we could get behind. We like him on the base paths. All of that. That's what we've been promised, right? If we could start to see that in the second half of the season, I think a lot of us are going to be excited about that. I think even though the season has fallen apart, even though we'll probably trade away some guys and make the roster just fall to pieces and we're not going to be good in the second half, if that shows up, if Oscar Colas shows up as a player in the second half, it's gonna rejuvenate the fan base. I think a lot of us are gonna be like, yes, once we got it right once.
We got some hope coming, right? I mean, that's
because he's here for years, and he's here for years next to Luis Robert, and Andrew Benintendi is
They're
here
all
for
locked
years
in.
as well. It feels like we've got an outfield for once. For once, instead of it being like there's maybe one guy that could play the outfield, like we would have an actual outfield, and then guys like Gavin.
And that guy
Sheets,
is Gavin Sheets.
Guys like that's the thing. Guys like Gavin Sheets then become interesting, right? Because you're like, oh, our fourth outfielder is Gavin Sheets, or our fourth outfielder is someone we pick up, right? Like we pick up a guy in the offseason who kind of plays everywhere, and it's like, but he's our fourth outfielder, so that's fun. Like that's interesting. Like
I agree with that. I don't agree. I think Gavin Sheets becomes less interesting if we start right field. But I was going to ask you, Treasy. I love this concept. But what kind of numbers? 70 games. What kind of numbers you need from Colas where you're like, okay, we got something here? What's you looking at here?
I'm not looking at 70 games. So I'm looking at the last 6 weeks of the season. That's where I'm focusing on. I just want all my hope to come at the end. I want Ed Farmer's a voice rolling in my head going, he's on the team for next year.
You want 3 home runs like Dan Johnson, 1 game.
But Beef, you know what I need? I actually
one fucking work for Sebi.
I need the numbers that
just kill everybody else.
Remolard's getting in terms of like getting on base and slugging. Like I need those out of Colas rolling out of the season. Right?
Okay.
Even if it's not home runs, I would love home runs.
Yeah.
But even if he's just gapping the ball and he's getting on base at like a 40% clip, like I need something nuts like that.
Okay.
Like that's where I'm not asking for much, man. I'm just like if I'm asking
400 on base, that's pretty good. Like
Colas, could you be as good as Zach Remillard has been for these past few weeks? Like that's all I'm asking. Match Remillard.
Match Remillard. Just be our right field Remillard.
It's good stuff.
Love that shit.
400 on base is high, Beef, but it's what we've been getting out of this.
I was going to say there's 5 players qualified for the batting title that have 400 on base. It's
not over 6 weeks though.
That's true. That's over the whole season. But
so just 6 weeks.
It's tough. It's tough to do.
Hold on, I got to pull this up now because I want to see where Remillard's at right now because it's insane. 415 OBP this year.
Yeah, he does. But he's at like 380. It's all singles, right?
Yeah. It's
that's right.
He's got a 819 OPS. All right.
Yeah. Yep.
I'll take anything.
You'll take that last 6 weeks.
800 OPS. Let's just stick with that.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
All right. Now we got.
Yes.
We got to get into the bad
stuff.
Hello.
What's one thing on or off the field for the second half of the season, post All-Star break, that you are absolutely dreading? And my summer, I'll start with you.
I mean, gonna go right to it. Just White Sox Twitter in general. I don't want to even see White Sox Twitter and how this is gonna go, like for the rest of the season. Specifically, the people that are crawling out of the woodwork right now, the Mike Norris, the Guillans, whatever, saying that Tony La Russa deserves more credit for winning with a shitty team. And like that narrative is about ready to like turn the rest of my beard and most of my hair gray. Because I'm like, you're defending something that was awful. And I'm not talking about him being an awful human or whatever. I'm talking about the performance of the team.
Yeah, they're below 500 with him
as a coach
last year.
Like it wasn't even good. There's no grandstanding here. That's like losing the race and saying, yeah, well, I did better than that other loser. No, you both lost. Like neither one of you won. Like you can't.
Did you just give us
if
you ain't first, you're last?
Yeah, right. Pretty much. Yeah.
But it's not even that, Treasy. It's like coming in 24th out of 26th and saying, hey, man, at least I wasn't last. No, dude, you were very close to last. And it still sucked. Like you weren't even, it wasn't like you got second or third. It wasn't like Tony was real close to winning the division and real close to winning the World Series. No, they were out of contention also. Like the teams like kind of came back when he was gone. And now people are like, oh man, he deserves an apology. Well, fuck that, dude. No, he does not. And no, that he does not deserve any type of like gratitude for winning with this team that like he possibly helped put together. I know I'm not giving this to him. So that's one thing that is just going to drive me fucking up a wall because it already is. It already is if you haven't noticed. Hey, listen, I'd rather get it out here than do it on Twitter because
I wanted to right here.
I wanted to attack so many people on Twitter. They're saying this shit, and I'm just like, stop it. Just don't do an MSS. You need to take a breath and not attack people on Twitter about this because it's really a stupid thing, And they're stupid, and people know they're stupid when they post this because it's a dumb fucking narrative. So that's the one thing off the field that I am not looking forward to and dreading.
No, I feel you.
Fucking dreading going into
Beef.
this.
It's going to happen.
Beef, what's yours?
Man, it's along the similar lines. I'm dreading the excitement for the returns of the sell-offs and expiring contracts. We've been down this road 10 million fucking times and touting the guys in these deals that are going to rarely hit like one. They're all going to be basically lottery tickets. You might get one decent prospect as part of the Giolito thing if they end up selling them. I'm going to start openly mocking the shit out of anyone who does that just because I hate it so much. And it's just, I need something to do, especially if the team's not good. You know what we're getting? We're getting a fistful of scratchers at the gas station, and we're trying to hit one fucking $5 winner. That's what we're trying to do in this trades. We're not trading anything. We're trading a bunch of junk. We have Lucas Giolito's good, but he's expiring contract. You might get something okay for that. Don't get super excited for whatever garbage they pick up when they trade Joe Kelly, okay? Just don't worry about it, all right? It's like, great, they trade him, maybe we'll get lucky. That's how you got to look at these things. I don't want to hear all the touting. Oh, man, we got this guy. It's like, you don't even know who that guy is. You never heard of him until the trade today. So let's not get too excited about any of them guys.
Beef, you see it every year with the draft, right? Like, I mean, like, we just drafted Jacob Gonzalez, right? And everybody's like, oh.
Everyone has an opinion. They never seen this guy play.
Here's the future. And, like, you start listening to the stuff on him, and they're like, well, you know, he's a good shortstop. He can pull the ball, and he's got some power when he pulls. His problems are he's very slow. And when he hits the other way, he rolls over the ball and he grounds out. And it's like, that sounds bad. And everyone's like, don't worry, those things he'll fix. Don't worry. I'm not worried about that.
Yes,
he's going to be great. Full. And it's like, why do you think he's going to? Who else has been great in this scenario? So it's like you see that, and then this is going to be the scenario when we get like some guy from AA for Lucas Giolito, and it's like, guy throws 98 miles per hour. That is wonderful. He hasn't thrown a strike since September of 2010.
Control.
And it's like, okay, well, that might be a problem, and don't worry about that.
Ricky Vaughn Jr. Yes.
Instantly fixed. That's
Dude,
treat him as like sort of fun. Oh, we might get lucky here. Not, oh man, look at this, all this shit we got. Like, you didn't get nothing, motherfucker.
Man, when we were bringing in all the prospects in 2018, and like, you know, the marketing team for the Sox was just cooking overtime.
Oh, baby.
And because I had long-time season ticket holder, his name's Joe, and telling me, I think we might make the playoffs this year. And I remember saying to Joe, because we were walking into Baderbrow, who's our third pitcher? Who's our fourth starting pitcher? He's like, yeah, we'll figure that out. No, we won't, because we didn't.
Probably not.
And we never did. And it's like, you know, this is, you know, when people get down on the Sox about the marketing shit, it's like, no. The marketing has carried this team. It has not been the performance of the team on the field. Is the marketing has sold this team, has sold the tickets. But yeah, no, I just, this made me think of that. Like, you know, everyone's like, hey, man, we got these fucking prospects, man. The unknowns coming through. So.
So
what are you dreading?
I think for me, it's kind of like the summation of what you guys are talking about, but it is if Rick Hahn retains his role. So like if we sell off pieces of this team, right? Like we sell off the expiring contracts or whatever, and we're building towards a retool. I don't think rebuilds are going to be a thing moving forward. Like at Beef, we've talked about this. I don't think rebuilds are going to be like the thing anymore. I think it's going to be retools like we used to do in the Kenny Williams era. I think most teams are going to go to this, but like trusting him to do it, like I think that's one thing that if we're thinking of what could truly break the fan base, it's going into next season and going like, don't worry, Rick Hahn's going to take care of this. And I think
it together.
And like, look, I have no ill will towards Rick Hahn. Like, I'm sure he's a very nice guy, but this is not his thing. This is just I think we've established at this point he's had many years to prove that he's good at this. He's just not. He can't build the roster. And if we go into next year going, Rick Hahn is building this roster, I think there's a lot of people that'll just be like, then why do I care? And I think that's the thing that I'm dreading, because I love the White Sox and I love White Sox fans, and we we all want to get together and be excited about a team. And when the team's being built by somebody who has proven time and time again that they can't put together a winning roster, it's hard to say we're getting excited about this. And so like that's the thing that I'm dreading the most, is that they won't make the hard choice and say, you know what, you've had many chances at this. We've given you a lot of chances. And there's a part of me that appreciates that we have an owner that will say, like, you know, I'm not just going to give up on a dude, right? Like I also have bad feelings about teams that get rid of like a coach after like 1 or 2 years,
right?
And say, like, without giving him a chance to develop his system and do these things. But Rick Hahn has had a lot of time.
Yes, and money.
He's been afforded that time. He's been afforded the money.
Yep.
We've sat through the rebuild with him. We've cheered when he was doing well, and we've questioned when we had problems with what he's doing.
We made a shirt
but
for him.
At this point,
That's right.
at this point, you can't go into this and go like, let's give it one more go around. Like, you just can't
talk your way out.
And if you do, I think the fans are rightfully so upset about that, and that is what I'm dreading in the second half.
I love it, Treasy, and we can't put it up on the screen because the comments aren't loading in StreamYard. But Nathan Sheba just gave us a drink, and he said, "Preach Treasy," and he said, "hashtag Teflon Han." So let's have a drink for Nathan Sheba. Thank you, Nathan.
Cheers, Nathan.
So we're
you,
still
my friend.
getting tipped because I was gonna motherfuck StreamYard in my thank yous or go fuck yourselves because it just cost us a bunch of money.
We are still getting tipped, and when we do, I'll make sure that I see it and I'll bring it up.
Oh, so there hasn't been a tip since that motherfucker.
It is time for thank yous. All right, Beef Loaf, who are you thinking this week?
I want to thank a well-known member of the media who shall remain nameless. Slid into my DMs on Friday, dropped me some very nice words of encouragement about the Aju podcast. So thank you for that. It meant a goddamn lot, and I'm not going to say who it was, but it's really appreciated because when you're working hard on something that's kind of new and you're not sure what people think of it, and to hear from someone who does kind of that stuff, like, hey, you're on the right track, you're doing something good here, that was really helpful to me. I needed it at the time. I was down a little bit, so I appreciate you.
That's awesome.
I'm sorry you were
MSS,
down.
who are you thinking? Or GFY?
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm going to bring this up here real quick. I got a little thing here. I put a lot of pictures this week for us. And if you're watching this at home, first off, we got a pre-order going. Go check it out. We got kids shirts that everyone's asked for. Please go buy a kids shirt if you've asked. You motherfuckers, you asked for it, we got it. And we also have a reversible mesh jersey. If you click on that little QR code or shoot a picture, it'll take you right to our link tree. Go right to our thing. You can order one right now. Very low price, $14.99 for the kids shirt and $24.99 for the jersey. But GFYN, this motherfucker right here, his name is Mark. Now, on Saturday, they released a Luis Robert bobblehead. I got a few extra, maybe 13 extra, and started selling them to people. $35 shipped, which I thought was not that bad. The cheapest ticket that you could get in the outfield was $34 or $38. So it's below a ticket price. So Mark here says $35 for a free giveaway. You're that hard up. Yes, Mark, apparently I am. I don't know. These people are my favorite because they're you pay for the game, right? So should I pay more or less for a win or a loss? Is the parking the $28 to park? Is that included in the freeness? I mean, not for me, but for other people. Driving to the game, was that free? Like the food, all this stuff, is everything just free? No, it's not. It costs you a bunch of money. And if you can get something from the game that can propel your desire to drink more in exotic whiskeys, you should. That's what I did. So I just want to know what was happening with Mark's head here. I have circled it in pink. Where's your hair, Mark? Are you that hard up that you got to comb forward this hair because your fucking hairline is receding back to your ass crack? What is that? Are you that hard up, Mark? Is that the problem? I don't know. I'm just looking right here, and it looks like you're pretty hard up on that fucking hairline, dude. So maybe you go talk to the hair restore motherfuckers, and maybe they can help you out, and you don't have to comb that shit forward.
It's harsh. I'm going to thank Mark in mine.
Yeah, fuck Mark. But no, there was one other guy that really got on us on Facebook. and said, "How many chins are in this picture?" And it was the picture that we use now for the podcast. And they're like, "How many chins are in this picture? These fat asses are giving White Sox fans a bad name. Go lose some weight, you POS, you fat POSs." And I was like, I'm gonna rip this motherfucker apart. And then I clicked on his profile picture, and he's friends with my sister-in-law. So I was like, shit, can't do that. So I'll take Mark, who I don't know, who's a nameless, faceless guy whose hair is receding back to his ass crack. So sorry, buddy. All right, Chorizo.
I want to thank Mark for getting quite a rise out of you.
I didn't take much.
I didn't think it was that offensive of a tweet, but I guess it was.
It's pretty offensive to me.
But yeah, all right. So I do want to thank our guy Baloney, because we came to the Bums tailgate on Saturday after a wonderful night at the our friend Josh's wedding,
the Nelson wedding, yeah.
And I was in dire straits at that point. It was trying to get your shit back on track. And Baloney hooked me up with a little medicine, a little whiskey.
Hello.
And got me right back going. I appreciate him getting me back on track, and I hope that in the second half of the season that the White Sox could get somewhere back on track. Maybe they need a little whiskey themselves. So we'll see what happens. But at the end of the day, I appreciate it, and I appreciate you all. And we will see you very soon. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.
Happy birthday.